Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're solving Leetcode 3D challenge, problem number 2360, longest cycle in a graph. So the title is very self-explanatory. You have to find out the longest cycle in a graph. So what you will get is you will get an array of edge, which and you can interpret it as the element at index I is basically representing a edge between I and element at index I. For example, in this case, we had 3 at index 0, right? So basically, we have an outgoing edge from 0 to 3, right? So this is the input which we'll receive, and you will have to basically find out a closed route or closed cycle, right? So what exactly a cycle means? If there is a situation in a graph where if you start from a certain node and it ends to the same node, that is called a graph or a cyclic loop or something. Or on the similar lines, there can be multiple names to it, right? So we have to just basically figure out how will you do that. So as soon as you heard about cycle loop and all the stuff, closed circuits, the first algorithm or first thing which should come to your mind is DFS approach. Because using a DFS, you can basically figure out all the routes you can use from a particular source. Okay. So that's what exactly we are going to do in this. We are going to use a DFS approach to solve this problem. And what we'll do is we will basically keep a track of if a node is visited or not, and if visited, what was the distance. Like, for example, I visited two. Okay. So I visited two, but what was the distance at that time? For example, I can visit two from three, right? So three, two is one. But there is a cycle in it, right? In which if you visit two again, the distance will be three, and that's going to be the maximum distance. So this is what we are looking for, the maximum distance uh, for a node. Okay. So let's check out the solution. Okay. So first things first, I would like to define my variable which I would be returning at the end, and will initialize it with -1 because in the question they have given that if there is no cycle, we will return -1. Okay. Another one is visit, which will basically represent if a node is visited or not. So initially, all nodes will be marked as false for edges. Okay. Next is we have to define our DFS, right? In which I will expect two values, node and the distance. Node is the current node which we want to use as our source, and distance is the total distance which we have took to reach to that particular node. Okay. So now I would simply just mark this node as visited first. Okay. And in the question, it is given that there will be at most one outgoing edge. So we are certain that we will only receive a single neighbor. Okay. No, sorry. Hmm. Okay. Now we have two conditions. First one is if we don't have any neighbor. If neighbor, sorry, if we have neighbor, basically if neighbor is not equals to -1, and we haven't visited the neighbor yet, and we haven't visited the neighbor yet. In that case, what will you do? You will first set the set the distance of the neighbor with what value? Basically, the value took you to reach node plus 1. Okay, and you will call DFS on it. So you basically have to pass neighbor and distance. This is it. Okay. Next condition is if we have a neighbor we have a neighbor, and we already have the value, or we have already seen that neighbor before. So if we have seen that, we must have a distance in it, right? So in that case, what we'll do, we will basically update our answer with the maximum of current answer and distance to reach the node minus distance to reach the neighbor neighbor plus 1. Okay. Once this is done, we just have to uh, initiate the DFS. So how will you do that? For I in range length of edges. So I'm basically checking each node as a source. So if we have not visited I node yet, then I will start by distance as this, and we will initiate the DFS. Okay, this is done. At the end, we will just simply return our answer. Let's check out the test cases. So the test case got cleared. Let's submit for further evaluation. So the solution also got accepted, and we performed decent outside. Like we outperformed 75% of the submitted solution. So thanks again for watching on the video, and stay tuned for the upcoming ones. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Thank you.